going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, I went ahead and put together another video on XDefined that I was going to post today. But out of the blue, Activision, or Call of Duty, whatever team is behind this, put out another post discussing the matchmaking, and they went into fine details about basically a test they did within Modern Warfare 3 when they removed skill-based matchmaking, ladies and gentlemen. I knew this was a thing. I made multiple videos in the past saying, the lobbies are really casual right now in Modern Warfare 3. I wonder if they removed it, and indeed they did. In the middle of Modern Warfare 3's life cycle, they basically went ahead and chalked it off and started testing to see how the experience was, how people reacted, so on and so forth. And let me tell you guys something. Skill-based matchmaking isn't going anywhere, ladies and gentlemen, for the Call of Duty franchise. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and discuss this overall blog post. You guys can go ahead and check it out if you want to. I'm just going to go over the very important details. But basically, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see from this right here, this is basically their, their post right here showing the skill brackets by color code. Purple being, the worst of the skill brackets, basically negative KDs. And then, obviously, as it gets greener and greener, you start going to neutral KDs, even, and then, up to positive, so on and so forth. Basically, as you can see in the chart, nobody stuck around. Basically, every single time, the skill-based matchmaking was shut off and everybody was thrown into the experience, more than likely, people were backing out of the games. The lower skilled players were backing out of the game. And with this proof alone, they are basically sticking to their guns. Skill-based matchmaking is not going anywhere. They're going to keep it in their game, Call of Duty. And you best believe in Black Ops 6, it's not ever going to change. A lot of people thought that potentially maybe they'll go ahead and reduce it a bit to make it a bit better for BO6, but, after seeing this blog post, it's confirmed that it's not going anywhere, and if anything within Black Ops 6, they're going to turn this up maybe another notch. But in my personal opinion, and I know some people might not agree with me whatsoever, I think all of these stats are a load of BS, and it's just proof that they successfully brainwashed the majority of the community to get handheld throughout all of their experiences. They even made a claim saying, oh yeah, skill-based matchmaking has been the same since Call of Duty 4. No, it hasn't. The skill-based matchmaking was toned down tremendously in Call of Duty 4. We already had tons of actual Call of Duty developers come out and say that. Yes, we all know it had matchmaking, right? There's always a protective bracket for people who might need it. But it was nowhere close to being as tuned as it is from Modern Warfare 2019 up to current date. Once we went ahead and hit that moment in time, everything changed about Call of Duty. Absolutely everything. And I'm telling you right now, these stats to me personally prove that people are just comfortable with having their hand held. Look at all the people backing out because they got their butts whooped. That was never a problem back in the day. Yeah, some people backed out. Yeah, some people rage quit. But guess what? The mass majority of people stuck through it. They dealt with it. They played the game. They talked their trash. Whether they called the opponent a sweat lord or you have no life or you're bad at the game. Whatever it is, people stuck through the experiences. And the top Call of Duty games were literally the OG titles with toned back matchmaking. Call of Duty 4 through Black Ops 2. People still came back and played the game because they enjoyed feeling themselves improve. That used to be the mentality back in the day. People wanted to improve. People wanted to get better, not just at games, but at real life. Nowadays, everything has shifted. So many people, not just on games, but in the real world, need their hand held through everything in life. They literally do. They need participation trophies. They need their hand held. They need to be stepped through every process known to mankind. And if they're not, they're like thrown out of their comfort zone and they start having panic attacks and all this crap starts going wrong. And the same thing is happening with gaming here. People have had their hands held for so long now, for 5 freaking years, to the point where people are just used to this stuff. They're used to being thrown, freebie lobbies every so often. And if they're not in that mentality, if they don't get those easy freebie lobbies thrown at them, they rage quit and they don't come back to the game nowadays. When that used to be the complete opposite. Yes, people would rage quit. Yes, people would get mad. Yes, people would log off every so often, but they never just stayed away from the game. People are addicted to the casino mentality. And these publishers, Ubisoft, Activision, EA, I guess not Ubisoft now because XDefined doesn't have skill-based matchmaking, but it honestly does seem like every big publisher nowadays is really stepping towards the direction of having some type of matchmaking within their game. That, something like that was incorporated with Modern Warfare 2019 up to current date, because they know if they hold the hands of an inexperienced player, they can eventually cough up a bunch of money out of their pockets. They have to feed them free lobbies to make them feel good about themselves, to spend more money. And as you can see from the stats, the stats don't lie, sadly. players nowadays, they don't have those attention spans of getting better. They are addicted to the casino mindset. And don't get me wrong, you know, me, myself as well feel that casino mindset. It's fun sometimes, right? You have to sweat, 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 sweat. But you're usually always guaranteed a freebie lobby at some point where you can pop off, you can get your streaks, and those games feel amazing, right? And then they get you to sweating again. Sweat, 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 sweat. And then you get that guaranteed lobby again. And then sweat, 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 sweat. It's very obnoxious. But for a lower tier player, it gives you that guaranteed adrenaline rush, you know, whereas maybe a higher tier player, they can work through the sweat and still get those adrenaline rushes and get streaks. For a lower tier player, it's guaranteed, right? They don't have to worry about skill. They don't have to worry about improving. All they have to worry about is how many matches they play until they get that easy experience. That's it. The casino mindset. Whereas in a game like XDefiant, you're not going to get that. Yeah, you might find some casual matches here and there, but the matchmaking is not going to prioritize giving you a freebie. It's going to prioritize connection and then obviously input and how many people are in your squad. And then it's going to throw everybody in, do team balancing, and get everybody into the match. That's all. Everything is left up to you, the player, to improve at the game and see yourself get better and better and better and leave yourself higher and higher and higher on the leaderboards. That's the rush. That's the enjoyment factor, and it's organic, it's genuine, and that is the way to go in my personal experience. But again, it doesn't matter because everybody has already been programmed. Everybody has already been brainwashed to believe that they are way better than they are. And if they aren't, popping off every so often, cough, cough, XDefiant, it has to be something wrong with the game. The game is doing something bad. Something's broken. Something's busted. Something is making sure I don't perform as good as I should be performing. When in reality, you have been protected. You have been coddled to not witness the negatives of this world, the true reality that there is no protection out in the real world, right? You gotta fight, you gotta, push, you got to compete in order to get to the top. That is the true nature of XDefiant, and people aren't used to that anymore. And it's proof. It's total proof from the stats right here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to say, but don't expect skill-based matchmaking to go anywhere. Every single time they update the blog post, it just proves time and time and time again that this game is going to, not this game, but this franchise is going to hold on to the current matchmaking system. And there's absolutely nothing this community can do about it anymore. That's just the sad truth. But the good news is that we still have XDefiant. And again, I know people have their problems, but this game is going to be here for years and years and years. Constantly being upgraded, constantly getting more content, so on and so forth. It will indeed improve, and it will still be here with no skill-based matchmaking for the audience when they're tired and sick of it. And that's fine with me at this point. Before, I would be absolutely furious of them not removing skill-based matchmaking, and I would make the biggest rant known to mankind. But at this point, I just say, who cares? I have a game with no skill-based matchmaking now. If they really want to stick to this, and they really want to keep protecting these players and treating these lower-end whales, with all this respect, when in reality, they need to get clapped a bit to get better, but no, they're going to protect the whales to cough up their money. Fine. Whatever. Do what you gotta do. You can't blame them. They're a business, and it's not up to the developers. The developers can still try to make a passionate project, and they can try to make a good game. But again, Activision will always be there to find a way to ruin it. So again, I never put the blame on the developers for skill-based matchmaking. I don't know how you could, because it's out of their control. It's out of their say. And we've known this since World War II. When, what's his name? Michael Condrey or whatever his name was, came out to the public and said that it's not up to them when it comes to skill-based matchmaking. It's all the publisher. We've known for a while now. So I don't put the blame on them, but it just sucks to see, I guess, a business doing what a business does best, right? As a consumer, it's horrible when we view this, but let's be honest, if you were running Activision, what would you do with these numbers, right? If you saw that literally more people will stay in the game, the whales will stay in the game, if you coddle them, wouldn't you do so? Probably, right? It's sad, but that's what happens. They brainwashed all these players into thinking that they are way better than they are, so now every time that they go into experience with no skill-based matchmaking, and they actually have to compete and be on a fair playing ground, and they're not fed easy lobbies, they don't know what to do with themselves. They're in a state of shock. They're literally stunned. They have no clue what's going on. And more than half the time, you'll see, just like these stats, those individuals are just going to simply upright leave the game because they're not getting those freebie lobbies that they're looking for. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, go down in the comment section and let me know what you guys think about all this stuff. Do you like that skill-based matchmaking sticking in the game? Do you hate it? I know some people absolutely adore it. I see it in the comment section. I see people absolutely love skill-based matchmaking. So some might be happy to see this news, but regardless, at the end of the day, like I said, if you like it, you got a game with it, and if you don't like it, you still got another alternative. It's whatever at this point. Before XDefiant dropped, I'll probably be a bit more furious, but since we actually have a replacement, it is what it is, right, ladies and gentlemen? But as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. We do indeed post here daily at 8 morning Eastern time. Mostly XDefiant right now, but obviously as Black Ops 6 starts to release, we'll trickle out a bit more content to kind of keep up to date with that game. If you guys are interested, like I said, subscribe and hit that bell. And also, don't forget, guys, I do apologize. I had to push back the XDefiant video I had for today, which is a really good one about movement, to tomorrow. So, you know, obviously, if you guys are still interested, just remember that commentary might sound like it might be. I don't think it is that delayed. I don't think I mentioned anything about the dates or anything or my stream, so it might still sound normal, but just keep in mind that it is a video that I pushed back so I can prioritize this one right here. But I just wanted to fill you guys in on that. But guys, last thing, check out my live streams. I will be live today over on Twitch, grinding out some more XDefiant during the double XP weekend. We already completed 2 guns, the MDR and the AK. So I'm going to be working on, I think, the, what was I going to work on? I know the MP7 is one of them because I want to get that out of the way because I don't have any camos for it. So I thought, you know, getting the max cool camo, the other one that they introduced in this game will be cool. And the LVOAC. Yep, I'm going to be working on that gun. So if you're interested, you want to check it out, tune into the stream. I got a link to my Twitch channel down below. That goes live between 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern time. But as always, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace out.